And the gray skies fade to black. The waves splash and set me off track, so my vessel might crash or collapse. When I'm attacked and start wrestling in my head with these bad memories from my past, I'm aware of my guilt, overwhelmed, and the smell of my blood has the sharks that surround me cast under a spell. They waited for me to fall, but when I fell, the water got still. And the blood that was spilled protects me. It's the same blood that cleansed me. My only defense against my nemesis. Now I can rest, knowing that nothing can come against me unless the Father gives consent. Evil intentions will not disturb God's purposes or interfere. So who shall I fear if my anchor is secure? Learning to consider it pure joy when I'm facing tribulations, praising God instead of complaining or getting overtaken with bitterness. Looking at the pages of the book of James and seeing the ways that God works through the trials to make us more mature in our faith. It reminds me how desperate I am in this desert land, thirsty for your mercy and plan while you give me the strength to stand. You're my greatest pleasure, yeah, no matter the weather I face. Lord, you never forsake, my fragile life is safe under your sovereign grace.
Anchor of my soul, you sustain.
Every human looks right in the eyes of agony, and through tragedy asks himself, how can this happen to me? You might be the type but enough insight to hold on for your dear life, but slip because your grip is not as tight as you might like. You ain't immune to it, nah. And if you're true to yourself, then you ain't new to it. Trusted in self, lusted and lured to it. So when the darkness overwhelms me and the tide of life rises and swells, it as well is what compels me. When faced with adversity, your truth constantly reminds me that true command is seized with ease, and with words you turn it wind to breeze. Helps me understand that we stand on solid rock, not on sinking sand. Through the providence of pain, you perfect your plan. Predestined to be tested when it works in the words of God. Cooperate and educate man in a great gift of grace and faith. And even though it's obvious when my outlook's ominous, you bound my heart and my conscience and gave me a constant calmness. So when the pain comes like rain from the parts of life that maintains its strain, I can put my trust in the hands that sustain. It's profound with all these sinking ships around me. He surrounds me and he anchors me with his grace abounding.
Anchor